More consultations on the Bangsamoro Basic Law are scheduled in the provinces. Tomorrow, the House Ad Hoc Committee on the Bangsamoro will conduct consultations with residents in Bongao and Tawi-Tawi. Added details from Freddie Abando.
The House Ad Hoc Committee on the Bangsamoro, chaired by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, has been busy in the consultations with stakeholders on the proposed Bangsamoro Basic Law, which will implement the peace agreement between the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Tomorrow, the Rodriguez Committee will convene in Bongao, Tawi-Tawi. Congress is committed to the passage of the measure by the first quarter of 2015. Another key ingredient of the President's commitment to win the peace is the implementation of the Bangsamoro Development Plan for the core areas of the new Bangsamoro entity. Initially, it will cost 225.6 billion pesos to cover 3 phases. Budget Secretary Florencio Abad underscored the strategic importance of the said plan to the future of development in the areas to be covered by the new entity.
You have to remember that we will be transitioning twice. From ARM to Bangsamoro Transitional Authority, from BTA to the regular Bangsamoro government, And every transition takes time, So the shorter the transition periods will be, the better for each of the government, whether temporary or permanent, that's going to take over. And that's what we're trying to do. Because what is critical is January to June, because that's a period when ARM is trying to transition into BTA, and that's also the period when BTA, begins to think about how to run the Bangsamoro government in a transition phase.
The programs to be implemented will cover the delivery of basic services, education, health, livelihood, and so much more. The implementation of major infrastructure projects to include roads, bridges, schools, public buildings, ports, and airports. Abad stressed the development plan is a complete package to ensure the root causes of the Muslim rebellion are addressed.
So what the national government can do for Bangsamoro, it will do, provided that we coordinate closely with them. It's definitely a big step. It's the roadmap, for Bangsamoro development over the next 3 years at least. So at least we know where we're headed. And I think it's historic in that sense because, we've never been presented with that. And now, we know how to proceed in 2014, in 2015, and 2016.
Winning the peace and pushing development in the future Bangsamoro entity will be a major boost for the government's drive to address poverty in the area, since it is the poorest region of the country. The future Bangsamoro entity is rich in natural resources. Its core areas are rice and corn-producing provinces. It has rich fishing grounds, so with mineral resources to include oil and natural gas. Abad said its development will boost the country's sustained economic growth.
This government has opened up that possibility. And I think as the economy grows, I think with peace in Mindanao, even more than how the national government is performing, I think that region is going to even outperform the national economy in general.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.